special welcome to Bonita because she's our newest 200K Club member. And it's kind of 2 a.m. for you in Australia, something like that?
1 a.m., yes.
1 a.m. That's extra effort. We love that. And you're going to get some extra love here. However we can do that, let's do this for Bonita, everybody. This is special effort. All right. Welcome, Marcos. Welcome, Emmanuel. Welcome, Rona. Welcome, Rob. How are you, Rob?
Very good. Thank you.
Welcome, Keith. Also first time here. Keith, welcome. And welcome, David. Let me let Dave in here. Welcome, everybody, to the 200K Club Monday session, plus some guests, because once a month we let also guests in to discuss a specific topic. Today, the topic is, can we make our sales 25% faster? Now, what do you think, guys? Is this just a marketing blah, blah, blah? Absolutely not possible. Let me know in the comments. Forget it, Simon. Come on. Tell us the real number. Let's go for the real number, you marketing guy. Or do you think it's actually realistic? Can we get 25% faster in our sales? Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, sorry for being late. I'm good. Thanks, Simon. Great to see everyone.
Good to see you, man. Okay, so the good news is 25% is quite possible, and we have seen this happen many times. Of course, it depends from where we start, right? I have to mute somebody. Who this is, I'm not sure.
It's Emmanuel.
Thank you. I think I got the right one. So 25% faster, we will try to do that by shortening the time from awareness to closing. And that means we will try to do it with a specific series of emails that has proven to work. And those emails can create up to 15 valuable moments in a shorter time. We would basically do whatever you guys do, but intensify, compress like a choreographer does. How can we compress that on a time scale? So for example, let's say I'm having 17 meetings with Kevin, and I'm learning a lot about how to sell my company. In one session, he will teach me something about how I can increase my multiple that I can get for my firm. In another session, he will tell me how to structure the people. In another session, he will tell me, oh my God, Simon, you are going for 2 big mistakes. Let me tell you immediately what these 2 mistakes are. So you see, every time I meet Kevin, I am having some insight. I'm experiencing moments of value. Now, could he create a series of, let's say, 20 emails in maybe 21 days that can recreate that? Because that one email has a video of Kevin telling me that in 5 minutes. The next email has a checklist, etc. So this is what we're going to explore today. If you have already an email list, a frequent newsletter kind of email list, then you will get some ideas on how you can refine it. If you don't have one, then you will get started right away. I will try my best to motivate you to get started, because having an email list is an incredible asset for all of us. And it's still a real money maker. So even if you think, oh, Simon, but that's old school, right? Email isn't old school. Do people still use email? Yes, it's old school. Yes, people still use email. So that's my short answer. It still works much better than everything cold and everything that you have to pay for. So it's worth a try. 25% faster. How do we get there? This is something that Marcus and I got from Google, because Google, as you know, collects a ton of data about all these digital contact points. And so Google said, guys, the sales process is not linear anymore. It's messy. There is a messy middle. So they say there is a trigger where you get the first exposure. And now from that trigger, let's say I want to learn how to delegate stuff to somebody else because I'm doing too much. So people tell me, oh, you have to call Scale to Impact. You have to talk to Bonita. She's the CEO of that. And I say, okay, cool. Where can I find Bonita? And they go, well, scaletoimpact.co, go there. Okay, I go there. So that's the first trigger. Somebody said I should go there. I am on her website. I'm reading 5 seconds in. I have 3 kids. So one of them needs something from me. And it's always very urgent, right? Papa, you have to read this book to me right now. And it feels so urgent. And I say, okay, let me read this book. I read 3 pages of the book. Then it's time to cook. I forget about Bonita completely. The next day, I come back to my computer. I forgot that. But so now we are in this exploration phase, and I'm back out of the circle. But as I was on her website, she was smart enough to have a button there that says, click here if you want to get 3 ideas delivered to your inbox. I clicked that. I gave her my email. So next day, I go to my computer. I forgot about everything, but before I go to my computer, I go to YouTube because I love YouTube. And there it is. Bonita saying, hey, Simon, here's the 3 tips that how you can do this. So I watch that even before breakfast. Then I go to my computer and go, okay, let me continue on that website. So I'm back to square one. I'm on her website. This time I'm getting deeper in, and I get to some testimonials, but they are kind of different from my industry. So I don't have time. Again, now I have to go to a meeting. I have to meet Keith. So I forget again about her. But the next day I get an email. Hey, Simon, this is what you are doing wrong right now about delegating. Oops, she got me. Let me read this. It's a checklist. I open the checklist. So you see where we are going. We are now oscillating between exploration, evaluation. And it's not linear. We are competing with a ton of other possibilities of the buyer's attention. Family, friends, business, competitors, other options. And so we will wiggle around in that messy middle for probably, if you are in a high ticket business, most of you are in a high ticket business, your people will wiggle around until they have 12 to 15 valuable moments with you. And then they will move on further and actually click book a call with Chris Fontoulis. So, but they need 12 to 15 times that experience. That's why I told last week to a financial institution, big financial institution that we're working with, I said, guys, money is a commodity. And they go, what? We are the money bags of the world, right? I said, nah, many people are a money bag, but why should they take your money versus other people's money? You are fighting for attention and for mind share. It's not just having the resource, which is the product, the service. It's actually the mind share. When I think exiting my business, do I think Kevin or not? When I think about topic X, am I think about you guys or about your competitors? That's the competition we are in, and that's why it's relevant to have a series of emails that make sure that your people, whenever they are in this exploration and evaluation stage, they come back to you, back to you, back to you. That's why one email will send them to LinkedIn, one email will send them to YouTube, so that you have multiple points and multiple chances to have 15 times value creation in 3 weeks. So for example, I see Karina Bell here. She's amazing with profitability. Whenever I talk with Karina, I learn something about profitability. If she can send 8 emails, in one email she will share, Simon, this is a quick video on how you can spot the profitability leaks. I will watch it, right? And if she gets me 15 times in 3 weeks, now she has my mind share. Mind share is attention on repeat. I'm thinking about Karina for the topic profitability. I'm thinking about Bonita for the topic scaling my business, delegating operations. I'm thinking about Kevin for when do I sell my business? How do I sell my business? That is mind share, and this is ultimately the holy grail. So whatever our current sales time is, it will be very different. If you know it, share it in the chat, then we get a feeling for how many months or weeks or days are we talking about. From awareness, I see your stuff on social media for the first time, or I get referred to you, to closing, what's a current sales time that you have? Let's see some indications in the chat so that we get a feeling. Are we talking months? Are we talking years? Are we talking days? Are we talking hours? What are we talking here? Because I will share with you one of our $1 million models from the core strategy sprints tools. As you know, the one-on-one sprint has tools for increasing pricing power, increasing win rate, and increasing the sales frequency. This is one of the tools to increase the sales frequency, because you can either do it in the beginning with emails or later on with expansion selling. So today we tried with shortening the sales time with an RBS, a relationship building sequence. For members of the 200K Club, it's already in our Slack group. And if you're not a member, send me an email later on and I'm happy to share it with you. So RBS stands for Relationship Building Sequence. Simon, that's a newsletter, right? Yeah, kind of, except that a newsletter is boring and I don't want to read newsletters. I usually delete them. We unsubscribe from newsletters, right? So I went into my inbox and made 2 screenshots. These are both our management consultants. Left side, Deloitte and Touche, and right side, an idiot from Austria. So which one would I read?
A rock star from Austria.
So on the left side, it might be super smart, you know, and I remember I was reading every email from McKinsey 10 years ago. You probably too, right? It was the best way to get alpha, to get insights. And so, yes, I was reading those newsletter kind of things. Today, I don't need that. Guys, I get on X much faster, much better, much more precise information. I get it from YouTube. I don't need newsletters for information. Except maybe I pay for one. It's called Stratecherry. That's really good information about tech and tech M&As. But everything else, usually free newsletters don't give me much excitement. And so I don't read them. So on the left side, if I read that, I feel like they look wonderful. So this Diane Brady, I don't know her, but she looks amazing. Look at this font, right? She is great. I'm an idiot. Do I want to feel like that? No. Do I have the time to read like 5 minutes of something? Come on, I have 3 kids. I don't have time. So I just delete this. I screenshot it for you guys, and then I deleted this. On the right side, there is some idiot that's sharing something from his life. And now he's not threatening. He's not looking great. He's just pointing at something which seems like a real life situation, right? An imperfect shelf, a little computer, and it says something to me. So the first one is saying, good morning, period. What? I'm not good morning. Who are you talking to? Who are you? And who are you talking to? The other one says, Simon, today I share with you something. So in the age of YouTube, we want to see stuff that's real and that makes us feel better and be smarter and feel smarter. So we are the guide, not the hero. So if you have a newsletter that looks great, think twice. You want them to feel great, right? Not yourself. So make it real, make it simple, make it quick. It doesn't need to be polished. And the less polished, actually, the higher the click rate. So we will look at some A/B tests, and you can download this later on if you are not in Slack. You just go to strategysprints.com and you download it. So, but give me 10 hours because my team is right now in night shift, and so they will do it tomorrow when they wake up in around 10 hours. But this is the basic choreography. So let's say we have 3 weeks time. We want to move people quickly from awareness to education to closing. What can we do? One example is a LinkedIn voice note. Hey, hello, you are the VP of sales. I'm a sales coach. I work with VP of sales. This is who I am. This might be relevant for you. So it's a LinkedIn note, for example. Then there is an RBS email that shares something that they pick up on LinkedIn. Then there is a connection request on LinkedIn. We go deeper on LinkedIn. Then there is a connection request on X. You want to have multiple touch points because you will lose one or two and you can still work the others. So in week 2, there is more emails coming. They are now more educational. They share how to do things, what you're doing wrong, how you can do it right. They point you to YouTube. Now you also subscribe on YouTube. This is pretty important because at some point, you remember, I forget about everything, but then what do I do in the evening? It's either Netflix or YouTube, what most people do, right? And so we relax and we still consume something that's valuable, if it's valuable. And many of us, we always want to work. So even in the evening, even off work, we want to actually learn something. So if it's good, I'm going to watch it. There is not always something great on Netflix. So I might watch your YouTube videos, guys. Then an invite to an online event. By the way, I have this event coming up. At some point, I start calling them and in voicemail. Then comes the next RBS. And by week 3, we have created maybe 8, 9 valuable moments. And now we can go deeper and actually start a conversation and deepen that conversation, bring that over to the calendar. So this is one example. It's not a blueprint for everyone, but it's one example. If you wanted to intensify those 12 to 15 contact points in just 3 weeks, how one could go about designing that buyer journey. If you are great with messages, add WhatsApp and messages in there. If you are great with physical in-person events in your city, you put your event right there, right? It's just a rough choreography to get you started faster, and then you insert your things right there. Now, let me show you one example here. This is our RBS and why it matters and why it's a moneymaker. First 24 days. Yes, I had a consultant. I worked 6 months with RBS specialists and they taught me some stuff. But then it was really A/B testing. So we wrote like 10 emails. And then on my morning run, sometimes I have a good idea. If it's really good, I sit down and write it. That's then the 11th email. We have 3 days in between right now because we are in Europe. In Europe, a good cadence is every 3rd day. In the US, a good cadence is every day or every 2nd day. So since we are in Europe, we go for every 3 days. You pick your fight, your cadence, depending on your main market. Then every month, we would look at the current email and eliminate the loser. What's the loser? The one that has the lowest click rate and the lowest open rate. Click rate is really important. Open rate is the 2nd most important, right? 3rd most important metric is the unsubscribe rate. If that's higher than 3-4%, of course, that's a loser, and then you delete it. So the first 24 days, we send emails, and they have an open rate of 48%, which is really high, using that informal, casual style that you saw. We're just talking to you directly like a friend would talk to you. Very casual, very direct, not polished. And then in my case, because I don't even speak English very well because I'm Italian, it's even full of typos and of bad pronunciation, etc. It doesn't matter. It's real. So then conversion rate, 17%. You might say, yeah, Simon, that's the first 24 days, right? But I have added over the last years many emails. And so even day 108 to 127, I just show you this because in 1-2 years, you might have also a very prolonged series of emails. And now you can still keep up an open rate that's very high. Click rate became 2%. That's kind of industry standard, but it's okay after 108 days, right? So you can keep this up pretty long if you want by using these very simple principles. So how do you build it? We need to pick them up at their bus stop. They have beliefs in their head. For example, if they are Phyllis buyer, they have the belief right now I'm in enterprise, but I will not be happy here the next 15 years. I need to find a plug and play business and jump out of this and jump ship. So we have to move them from I'm fine here, I can stay here 20 more years. That's the current belief. We have to pick them up there. And then that email has to say, you're sure that that's safe? Being in the tech enterprise where you are right now? Are you sure? Did you see what happened last week? Did you see how many people were fired? Is this your highest level of safety? Really? The email might say, think twice, because the highest levels of safety might be running your own business where you control the marketing assets and having a pipeline that's okay full. That might be more in your control than what you are experiencing right now. So let me show you 3 examples, right? One example is, this is a business coach, and they help you scale business, right? Many of you are business coaches. So belief 1, my profitability is fine. That could be Karina Bell. Oh yeah, your profitability is fine? Your profitability should be this percentage, not that percentage. So that might be the first belief. I'm giving you some examples because then in the next breakout rooms, you will work on your 3 beliefs that your buyer has right now and the 3 beliefs where you want to shift them, because if they don't have those 3 beliefs, they will not buy from you. So if it's a business coach, first belief, we pick them up at, yeah, my profitability is fine, but those 3 emails, the first 3 emails will shift them to, no, your profitability should be higher. This is where it should be in your industry right now. Belief 2, well, being in a course is enough. I don't need a business coach. I have this 3 modules online course that I paid $300 for. That's enough. And your email could be, well, a proper business coach does this in a session with you. They call you out. They have you think bigger. They give you some blueprints. They know where you are right now. You see, that's already 3 emails. And then we move them to the next belief. Their current belief is, I cannot trust any coach on the internet, which I understand as a belief, right? So we pick them up there. We take their beliefs seriously. Most of us have been burned, so we have this belief. And then slowly with 3 emails, we move them to the next belief, which is, well, if you're having this topic, well, that guy is a really good coach for you. So for example, if it's Marcus Kienberger, it can be, well, but you have to improve your culture to improve your performance. How is your culture right now? Email 1, example from my work at INSEAD, where I found out these 3 things about culture that you can do this week. Next email, your team has a great culture when you feel this in a meeting versus that. Second email. Third email, I have worked with these people and they are similar to you. Here's why they came. Here's what happened. Here's how they walked out of it. That could be 3 emails of a business coach, right? Let's look at a life coach. I transform your life. Belief 1 could be, I can keep everything as it is. It's fine to drink a little bit of alcohol sometimes. Why not? But that email will be, oh yeah, some things are fine, but some you will need to change. You will need to change some of your behavior. XYZ is where you have to start. Could be the first 3 emails. Belief number 2, talking to friends is enough. I don't need a life coach. I have friends. And the email might be, oh yeah, how long are you going to keep those friends around if you tell them everything that's going wrong? Is that really the best friendship? Or something similar, right? Really, but how much are your friends experts in this? Or will they just tell you whatever makes you feel good, but they will not have the tools for you to evolve, right? And then belief 3, again, something around, but is there a legit coach that I can trust, or does everybody just ask me question and charge for that? Well, here, 3 examples of what happened and why this is relevant to your specific situation. Example of an agency. Some of you guys run agencies. If I have an agency that writes newsletters for you guys and you are a tech team, I might say, belief one, I can grow with newsletters because and I can grow without newsletters. Like, I'm a tech team. I don't need a newsletter. I just need a great product. So from that belief, you have to get me. Some people are smiling. You know those guys. From there, you have to shift them to, no, a great product is not enough if nobody knows that they can buy it. So you need a newsletter too, because distribution is what you need if you have a great product for it to actually sell. And the newsletter is one way of distributing. Belief two, our intern can do this with some chat GPT. Maybe yes, but maybe not, because the intern maybe doesn't have the experience, didn't run many A/B tests. Maybe the intern needs some support, and the proper agency should do this. And then maybe later on, the intern can take it over as soon as there is something that works and they have learned it. And then belief three, no idea where to find the right agency. So those 3 emails will be why we are the right agency for you. In this example, I go even a little bit deeper. So belief one, newsletters are good and effective. Email one, posting more content leads to more opportunities. Email two, it's important to stay top of mind with prospects. Email three, it's a big problem that I am not producing content. Belief two, someone else should do this for me. Email one, I'm too busy. I can't do this. Email two, I'll make a bunch of mistakes if I carve out time. Email three, consistency is key and I'm not consistent. So let me be honest. I will not follow through long enough. Belief three, this agency should do this for me. Email one, I've seen their work. It's damn good. Here's some example. Email eight, this guy similar to me has given them a video testimonial. Feels right. Doesn't feel fake. Email nine, I can tell they are organized, they are professional, because I've clicked around on the website, the right things happened in the right moment, looks solid. Let me talk to those people. Now this is where marketing ends and they're booked on a call. Now we talk about sales, which we will talk next week on Monday. But let's start do this. Let's go to the 3 beliefs your potential buyer has right now, and let's pick them up at their bus stop. What are the 3 beliefs that they need in order to work with you? Because if someone says yes to those 3 beliefs, how likely is it that they're going to work with you? It's quite likely, right? They're kind of 70%, 80% there. And if they lack one of those beliefs, how likely is it that they're going to work with you? Almost zero. It's a waste of time. Very low probability. Or you would have to do a ton of work in the sales call, and we don't want that. We want the natural sales flow. Nobody's pitching anything. Every time Chris wants to pitch anything in a sales call, Simon goes, don't pitch, Chris, don't pitch. We don't pitch in a sales call. So I propose we do a little breakout session. I give us in small groups, and we discuss in there, share with each other, those are the 3 beliefs that they need in place if they want to become my buyer, if they are the right buyer for me. They need these 3 beliefs, and share it with each other. I will give us around 7 minutes, and let me find out where these buttons are. They are here. How many are we? 38. Let's make it. How many do we want to be in a room? 6 to 7? Too big? 5 to 6. Let's go 7 breakout rooms of 5 to 6. I will bring you back in 7 minutes. Enjoy, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. I hope it wasn't too harsh. It's usually super, super harsh. I'm sorry. I didn't find a way to make it soft landing. How are you? Let's discuss. What are some beliefs that came up? What are some questions that came up? Who wants to start?
I'll go if I may.
Yes, Neil.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So this is a great exercise. I was thinking, so I work, just a quick background, I work in holistic health and I help people get rid of chronic illness by getting to the underlying cause. So, and my belief is the body can heal anything. So I need to, the beliefs that the potential client needs to change are, number one, if they think that they have a genetic disease or an incurable disease, they need to then believe my body can heal anything.
Mm.
The second one is, if they might think I have tried everything, which is something I hear a lot. I have tried everything. We need to change that to something maybe simple. There is more to try. There is more to try. Holistic health means addressing the whole. And then the third one is was more about the limits of the Western medical model. So if they say, I often hear, I'm going to try Western medicine first, and then I'll do what people think of as alternative. I say, no. Firstly, ditch alternative. That's a silly term. Start with natural medicine, and then go to Western medicine as the last resort. So that's what I came up with.
I like it. I like this as an email. Stop alternative. Stop saying alternative. Because whenever we have contrast, stop this, do this, it's actually catchy. I was just laughing and I would click it because it makes me kind of laugh, but it's kind of serious. There is a playfulness in it. And I agree that for you, the main message, the main belief is my body is a healing machine. It can heal. Now, maybe some parts are in my control, some are not in my control. That might be another email, but the message that you have to repeat and repeat, the body can heal. It is a healing machine. It will heal. So yes, I love it. You are spot on. You're spot on, Neil. I guess you have good open rates.
I do actually.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Send more.
I'm not surprised. And let's go to Dan.
Yeah, hi. So to be provocative, if you're practicing traditional leader development in traditional hierarchy, you're practicing enterprise suicide. So
I love this email. Are you practicing enterprise suicide, Simon? I would click it.
Yeah, so that's the idea. So the first question is, what is your relationship to power? And if your belief is that it's top-down command and control and I'm supposed to have the answers, then you're operating in the 20th century and not in the 21st century age of intelligence, where harnessing the collective intelligence matters. The second one is, when you have an issue, what is it you're pretending not to know?
Wow.
So in other words,
question.
Why are you afraid to be confrontive? Why are you afraid to be confronted? Why are you afraid to be authentic? So we want to deal with the fears of fitting in, being acceptable, being lovable, and not being abandoned. And the third one is, you're in a world today where 80% of your workforce is unengaged, and what's holding you back from aligning their values with yours in the enterprise?
I have a headline for you. Simon, what is it that you are afraid not to know? And the next email, Simon, what is it that you are avoid asking yourself? Because you have these powerful questions. They make leaders reflect. And then by doing that, you create the space that is probably your asset, right? Being the space where they can reflect these things. And then you will bring in some tools. But first you open up the space and you do this with questions. You ask this in the headline, first name, what are you afraid not to know? I love that. I don't know, but I studied philosophy, but I love those kind of strategic, reflective questions, and they make me pause, and they're very different from the other emails. This is how you can feel your webinar very different.
Yeah, it's a very Socratic approach.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. DJ, help me say your name.
DG, you're close. DG. It's
Yeah.
DG. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You have a question?
No, more. Yeah, probably just to buttress what I had in mind. That's my questions. There's three top questions I had. Yeah, thanks. My group was great, Marcus and Kate.
Oh,
For
cool.
me, thank you. I have
Thank
about
you.
50 wrong beliefs that I need to challenge, and I had to rank them. The top of my list would probably be one. For a lot of my clients, they wrongly believe that getting new clients is a lot better than keeping the old ones. Yes, there's some truth in it, but that needs to be shattered. Getting new clients, that needs to be dealt with. Yeah, that's one. Two, for a lot of them, they think having a great product should be enough to your clients coming back for repeat business. That is great, but they need more reasons to keep coming back. And then the third one would probably be the fact that when you're creating products, it's not just about you going through the ideas first approach. You need to ensure that you're customer centric, you're drilling down with your existing clients, find out what it is, what are their unmet needs. And for me, that would be my top three beliefs I'm trying to shatter.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Who else has some questions about their beliefs, their emails before we move to the next section?
Simon?
Yes, Cliff.
How are you doing? Marcus, I asked him 3 questions. This is more about Marcus and me, or the thing. And the 3 beliefs he mentioned in his place was, number 1, my strategy makes sense. Then number 2 on his beliefs, he says our strategy is sort of communicated and that the staff are updated often. And belief number 3, the staff understand the strategy and are connected to it. So basically, those 3 beliefs. Now, how do you help us with the email trail with number 1, with the first 3 emails? And you just off the top of your head, help us understand what Marcus. So number 1, the strategy makes sense. The CEO wants the strategy to make sense. So email 1 to 3. What would you do?
I love this. And I'm not better than Marcus at copywriting, but let's play. You want to play? Let's play. First idea is, you remember these Dilbert comics? He had fantastic cartoons of teams completely confused coming out of a strategy meeting. It's a strategy meeting and everybody's telling some gibberish and everybody's something different, but they have a strategy paper somewhere. So I remember those cartoons could be a great way to visualize. I don't know if we're allowed to use them for commercial emails, but something like that. It's usually visualizable, like this confusion, the Tower of Babel, this confusion of many people saying one thing, but everybody's saying something different or understanding something different can be visualized. The next thing is if a strategy is lived or if it's a paper, and then you can go to if I wake you up, guys, 2 a.m. in the morning, can you say it? What is it that you're building together? The third email can be, I walk through the halls of your enterprise and I ask everybody what they're doing, and they tell me their role in the organization. I'm the head of HR, but nobody tells me I'm here to make the team win. And this is how it looks like when we win. Well, that's a strategy. That's a strategy. As soon as you go through the halls and you ask, what are you doing? And they tell you this, now you have a strategy. So go through the hall, ask 5 people, come back to this email if all 5 are telling you their role, because then we need to work. If everybody is giving you a straightforward answer, we are solving EV for the next decade, well, we don't need to talk. Enjoy, keep rolling. See you next month.
Okay, cool.
Any more ideas for Marcus? there are a ton of amazing people in here. Okay, more questions about your emails. Where do you see obstacles in writing them, in open rates, in click rates? Kevin.
Yes, Simon, I've got a question. Do we think of those three limiting beliefs per clients, per client segments, or per client in general?
Thank you for this question. We think it per ideal client profile. What is an ideal client profile?
Per ICP.
ICP. So it's really very, 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 it's we mean it 5 levels deep. On the left side, 5 criteria that make them your ideal client. And on the right side, there is an anti-ICP, 5 criteria that make them a no-go. And they are related, right? For example, on the left side, it says high ticket. Well, then you will not work with low ticket clients. So it's on the level ICP. Thanks, Kevin, for that. We want to be very, very dialed in. We are talking to one person. I see them in front of me. It's an actual past client that I want to have 10 more of. I'm talking to that person. I'm literally looking at that specific person. Many times it's somebody of you that I'm thinking about, and I'm writing this email and say, hey, you, look at this, try this. Phyllis.
So I have a question for you. When I think about my ideal client, it could be either a male or a female.
Yeah.
Do you have a feeling about whether I should pick a lane or be it doesn't matter, male or female?
You have to pick 5 levels deep. If gender becomes one of your 5 most important criteria, then yes. In this group, Neil had sometimes thought about going gender specific. For all other people, it never became such a huge thing. But you pick it. If it becomes one of the top 5, then it's actually really important.
No, I just did a training last year, and the woman said you need to pick a lane because the languaging that you use would be.
Yes, but even if you pick female, they also don't speak the same language, every woman on the planet. So you will still you will need 3 languages. Oh, maybe let me give you a bonus. If you pick male or female, you will still have 3 psychological languages to pick. Let's call them 3 love languages. There is a blue language, a green language, and a red language. So every landing page, every email needs to adapt for all the 3.
Okay.
A blue person is very analytical, wants numbers. I think many people who talk to Kevin are blue. They want numbers. They are tech team, product teams, engineers, blue, 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 blue. Legal teams, blue. M&A
Those are my
folks,
guys that take
blue.
forever that take forever to make a decision.
Exactly. Because, and the reason is, yes, slow decisions. So be calm, don't push for the close with the blue types.
Yep.
And send a lot of cases. Probably also Karina did a ton of blue types. The finance world, the tech world, blue, blue, blue. Legal world, blue. They want details, numbers, facts. Case studies means numbers to them. They want a contract, standard, SOW, statement of work. They will read it. They will come back to you. So that's the blue type. Green type wants to feel you. Hey, tell me, do you have kids? What's your thing? In which city are you? I don't care about any city at all because I'm not a green type. You tell it here, it goes out here. I'm a red type. We will get to the red types in a second. Green types, hey, where are you? What do you do with your kids? What are you reading? Book club. Hey, join our book club. That's a green love language.
Yep.
And they want to meet and talk. Red, get me immediately to the results. What's the outcome? You have already wasted 7 seconds of my life. If you get 3 more, get to the meat.
Yep.
Are you solving my cost problem, my revenue problem? Are you growing my business? Are you adding people? Are you doing it for me or with me? You have 15 seconds left. So say it. Think of a New Yorker kind of person who wants to go directly to the thing.
Yep.
Sorry, New Yorkers. Yeah.
Thank you. That is very helpful because I've really struggled because I don't really want to just focus on women. Women make great franchise owners. Most of the clients that I have been men anyway. So thank you. That helped a lot to get me out of that bucket.
So I think even if we pick a gender lane, we still have to be mindful of these three languages. So on a landing page, you need a little bit of all these three things. In an email, you need a little bit of all these three things. When you have them in a sales conversation, be very patient with the blue ones, give them time.
Yep.
The red ones, they buy in this call or never. There won't be a second call probably. If you don't hit me now, I'm gone. I forget about it.
Those usually don't make very good franchise owners anyway.
I don't know. Yeah. Cool.
Simon, what are the
They
5
don't want to
levels?
follow, they don't want to follow the system.
Correct. They hate systems. They hate procedures. They want to build systems and then have other people adhere to the systems.
Yeah. Yep.
Correct. Then,
Simon, what do you mean by 5 levels deep?
oh, this one. Thank you for the question. Let me go back. The ideal client on the left side, you see that we have defined 5 criteria that make them ideal. That's what I mean with 5 levels deep. So if you say it's an entrepreneur, okay, what is the size? What's the revenue? Are they, what else? 5 levels deep into segmenting, into specifying which kind of entrepreneur. Is it only deep tech? Or is it okay if you go broad tech? Is it okay if they're high ticket or low ticket, or will you pick one? Is it the same thing if they sell online or in person, or will you pick one? Do they need to be in the US or can they be global? Or, you know, those are 5 criteria that you put on the ideal side. They are must. And 5 ideal on the anti-ideal side, there are disqualification criteria. We disqualify them already from the list of leads, already from the LinkedIn list, or from, if I see that they have booked a time with me on the calendar, but they don't fit one of those 5, I will politely reschedule to never ever land. Bonita.
Yes, I'm red. I'm very, very red. And so all my clients that I work with. And so when when I'm on LinkedIn and someone tells me, oh no, I don't want to scale, I don't want a team, that's too much hard work. Like sometimes there's a misconception about scaling that I need to deal with as a belief. But I think sometimes it's just probably a green person or someone who doesn't want to scale, you know, even though scaling could be easier. And so at what stage do you decide just to leave them be?
I love this question. And I would probably lead already with the first email attacking this misconception that when we say scaling, probably half of us panics and go, no way. I don't want to spend a ton of money. I don't want to have a ton of personnel. Oof, that's my horror movie for me. But hey, there is a wise way of scaling where you don't add personnel, you don't add headache. You actually get back more time to do fun stuff. You actually increase your lifestyle. So the first email might be, hey, 5 years ago, it was annoying to hear, oh, you have a lifestyle business. If you would say that to me, I would be irritated because it's not a real business, right? A real business scales. A lifestyle business is just lifestyle. It's not a real business. Right? We all heard that. We all didn't like that about our business, probably. I certainly didn't like to hear that. But what can it be scaling? It can be improving your lifestyle by scaling across multiple time zones, scaling value, scaling solving problems. It does not mean adding bodies to something, creating the next Salesforce tower that nobody needs in a city that's already full of towers. That's not what we're talking about. It can mean scaling freedom. It can mean having more time to play with your kids whenever they want to play with you. not when it's weekend. Right? That is made for some people scaling lifestyle. Scaling operations can be zero additional headache for you, maybe even less headache for you if you find a smart way of scaling. For example, you give it to us, scale to impact, and we do it for you. And you go tennis and golf and reading books. There is a misconception. People think scaling, it's, for example, one thing that I always hear, and I hate hearing it. Simon, you have to spend money to make money. Where did you hear that? It's totally wrong. If you spend more money, you are only increasing risk. You are not increasing any revenues and you are not increasing any profitability yet. You are only increasing risk. If it works, well, then we're going to talk. But right now, you're just asking me to spend more money. It's usually not true. You don't have to spend more money to make more money. Where did you see that? You have to find something that works organically and then let it compound over time and then hand it over to software and freelancers or to scale to impact, and they will do it for you. And it compounds while you have time to do the next thing. I think that's a misconception. Also, that scaling creates more headache or is harder, or each one could probably be an email with an example. Somebody who came to you and they didn't want to scale, just have less headache. Well, it turns out scaling is part of having less headache. That's then the second part of the email.
Mm.
Do you also react negatively when people say scaling?
I don't, but I don't understand it. Like when I speak to consultants and like a lot of people on LinkedIn, for some reason that I've been contacting, they're on their way out, retirement, and they haven't looked at scaling, so they can't sell, right? And so their retirement doesn't mean a lot. And someone actually said to me, my clients are my friends, I don't sell friendships. And so that was interesting.
Also, what about you and Kevin Montserrat? You have a power hour, a coffee call, whatever you call it, and you talk about that because he comes from the other side when they want to exit. You come from the beginning side, and I think you might add additional perspectives to each other. Because people have fixed ideas on what scaling is, and you might pick them up with the first 3 emails at that bus stop and say, okay, this is what you think. Actually, this is what it can be. This is what you think it's heading people. You don't have to add people. You can outsource. You think it's adding risk. No, it's de-risking actually, because you're repeating things that work instead of reinventing the wheel all the time. It's more work. No, it's less work because you focus on what's working. You build it once and you sell it often. So you can pick up each resistance that they have in the body. I think we all have some of these resistance. I do when I hear that. You can pick them up one by one and work them through an email. Guys, I love hanging out with you, but I have to respect your time. So whoever wants to share, maybe one last sentence, let's share it. If you have one insight or one last thing that you want to share, please feel free.
I just wanted to say, Dan S., and he alluded to something which I think is so important, and that's understanding your self-worth. In other words, being authentic and not sort of allowing external influences to derail your strategy or derail your focus. So I want to just say to Dan S., thanks for just bringing that up in an indirect way. So
thank you, Cliff. I've shared the whole presentation of today and the tools in Slack. So if you guys are not a member, want to become a member, here's the link in the chat. If you want to check out how to become a member or just talk to me, jump on my calendar, strategysprints.com. We can talk from there. Have a great week, everyone. The members, see you in Slack. I am available all the time. Tag me with any question that pops up on marketing, on sales. I'm here with you guys. Keep rolling. Bye-bye. I'm off to Pilates.